Investigate. Analyze. Uncover.
Hello everybody and welcome to the latest episode of the Paranormal Prism. Mark's not aware of this, but I've had a bit of a rebrand since we spoke last time. But today I'm delighted to have, I don't think this is going to be a good show, I'm just going to get it out there, Cyn Schrader-Hill, who is Trouble. She's a self-published author, editor, and what else do you do? You're just a nuisance maker.
Mark and I are our publishing team together.
I haven't got that. I haven't got to Mark yet. Shush. And then I've got Marc Elliott Feltz, who's a psychic medium, metaphysical physician, channeler, author, and Cyn's work partner. There we go. Mark, Cyn, welcome both.
Hello.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Let's see. And Mark, you probably don't know, but me, Cyn, and Tommy have been arguing over the last few weeks about who's the best. And Cyn is so flaky, she keeps changing her mind.
Never. I have
all
never.
The time. Never changed your mind.
No, I have not, because you are my favorite British Canadian.
Number one.
Tip top.
And Tommy is my
favorite ginger over there. And Bridget,
You said second favorite ginger.
Well, second favorite, after Jamie Fraser on Outlander.
So I'm number one and Tommy is number two. Let's just get it out there. So I'm hoping, Mark, that you're on a different level because you're her work partner.
I don't know if you got a level that I'm on at the moment. I'm kind of like, No.
Okay, guys. So we are here because you've got some things to tell us. But before we go into all that, how long have you guys known each other and how did you first meet?
2013, the old
2013,
hospital.
I was working my last event for a ghost hunting group that the leader I wanted to push into a wood chipper. And then, cause he was real special. And then Cyn was there investigating otherwise. And she wanted to meet me, and she met me just as I was getting ready. I mean, that was my last investigation period with that group. So it was a meant thing. We met, and then we became very good friends, and now we're partners in crime. She started helping me do book editing, and then I kind of pushed her into getting into her own books. And because she had it in her, she just didn't know at the time. And then, then we've just been getting into trouble ever since.
Yeah. So how many books do you release a year, Cyn? About 100 or something? Like you don't do anything else apart from write books. Or that's what it seems like.
I'm on a mission.
Okay. So the one we're going to talk about in a few minutes, what number book is that you've released this year?
The one I just released is 8 and 9.
So Mark, with that bearing in mind, sort of like she must go, right, I want you to do this for this book, and I want you to do this for this book, and I want you to do this for this book. Is that basically how it works between you two?
Yeah. She'll tell me what she needs, what she's doing, and then I'll come up with a art concept for the cover and any illustration she needs. We just do it. And then, I actually have done that with other people with doing artwork for their books and things like that. But we together, she edits my books and I illustrate and help her with her books. And so we work real well together, I think. We're turning a lot of books.
If I want to create somebody that looks like a princess in AI, I will basically have a picture of Cyn and change this lady into a princess, and then it does it. So apart from you being Cyn's version of AI, how does she give you the ideas, or does she say, I want something that looks like this, and then you give her the ideas? How does that work between you two?
Well, I'm 64, so I've been an artist all my life. And long ago, I used to do illustrations for a friend who had a kind of like a pulp magazine. And so I'm pretty used to, I do a lot of ink work. I love black and white ink work. So she'll just tell me, we'll go through the stories, or she'll just go, this is what I would like an illustration for, this story. We don't, I mean, blah, blah, blah. She'll make me a list, and then we'll roll around. She'll tell me the title, and then I'll roll around the ideas until it falls out my head, and then onto my paper. And then I sketch it out, and then I send her pictures. If she approves that, then I turn it into a full color picture and painting. And then we just go from there. We're actually really laid back on that kind of stuff. We know life gets in the way, and, we're real flexible. And I trust her work. She trusts mine. So we don't have any problems. She'll just go, hey, can I, and we usually she gives me, it's not like, I got to have this next week, kind of thing. It's, when we're working at the beginning of stuff, we'll know, a month or two. And then, but usually once I've got the idea and I let it sit for a minute, then it just happens, and I get it to her. And so far we haven't had anything that looks too horrendous, and we just have fun. That's about it. We don't fight or anything over anything.
Sounds like the perfect relationship. So, Cyn, if you've got an idea in your head and then you want to tell Marc how to draw it, how much detail do you really have to provide? Or does Marc kind of know what you're thinking from the get-go?
He actually takes my words and then makes them better. So I told him, I asked him first if it was okay if I named this book Chilled to the Bone, because he has a trilogy, Chattanooga Chills. So I didn't want him to think I was taking his title, and I wanted to make sure that was okay with him, and it was fine with him. And then I told him he knows I love the skeleton from the very first book, and he's used her 2 or 3 times, and she's my favorite skeleton. She's beautiful. And I told him that she's got to be cold. And he said, oh, I've got a picture that I took in the snow of this beautiful cemetery. It's a mausoleum. And maybe I said, that sounds great. So we just work together.
Yeah.
To bring out.
And you mentioned like she's got to be cold, but that could be taken one of 2 ways. It could be taken that it's winter outside, or that she's kind of
dead,
dead as well, or non-emotional. So
no, I want her.
How does that kind of come across as? How do you decipher exactly what you need to tell Marc, and vice versa?
That's when he said, I've got the snow scene. And I went, oh, that would be perfect. I love that. So we just work together to bring up things. I'll have an idea, like one of the tales I asked him to, and this has been a while back. It was La Llorona, and this guy had a near death experience. My friend Jess, he thought La Llorona was pulling him under the water. He was drowning, and so Marc drew La Llorona as a skeleton underneath the water, holding this foot. So
that's the Mexican cryptid or spirit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it's just, I pick, like, I'll have 2 or 3 stories that just hit me. They kind of resonate with me, and La Llorona was one of them. So I wanted that one illustrated, and a friend of mine had twins, but the wife lost one of the girls before birth, and they didn't know that. They thought when she lost the baby, that was it for them. And when she went back to the hospital to see if she needed a DNC or whatever, they found another heartbeat. So she was actually pregnant with twins, and this twin actually showed up around 2 years old, when the other baby was 2 years old, and they started seeing this little girl walking around, and I asked Marc to draw her. And so that was one. So he's fabulous. He's fabulous.
I'm special.
Mark, have you noticed how she's sucking up now? So she must want something else. After tonight's recording, she's going to be going, "Oh, Mark, by the way, I need this by Friday."
No.
Oh, well, that would be fine. I would do it. You know, I mean, we've been doing stuff lately where she did a book for me for my lyrics for my songs. And so she's had to be, just,
Yeah.
it's been a tsunami of songs and lyrics and stuff. And we just throw everything at each other, and then, what lands. It works,
Yeah.
so
can you remember the first project you worked on together?
it's been a while.
Goodness.
I knew I'd catch you out on something tonight.
Well,
the answer is no.
Project, I think, would have had to be just us, just the two of us.
Well, yeah, because you say that you write and then Marc does the illustrations. So what would be the first book, so to speak, that you're working on together?
Probably your Chattanooga Chills too, right?
My Chattanooga Chills. I'd already had the first one, and she started on the second and third one with me, and then we started working on collaborations. And so, but she came in on about the second of my Chattanooga Chills, and then from there she's done about 8-9 books so far of her own. She's done. I have several other books that I put together, but I'm going to redo them because I've learned a lot since those books were made. So I've got to go at them in a different angle. So for me, I have like 6 books, but 4 of them are online. The cookbook, we did the cookbook, which took a solid year. It was about 700 pages, had 1,600 recipes that I've been saving and finding and researching, and
1,788.
Yes,
that's the my mean old grandma's good old cookbook.
Yes.
See, I've got it.
And that
I've got
was
it up here.
enormous. And actually, I just ordered a whole bunch of them to take with me to GoblinCon. And they're like an old phone book, what an old phone book looks like. It's just huge. And we would be doing it, and I thought I would be finished, and then, it's like, another bone would fall out of the closet. I'd find more of the recipes I've been hiding, or find something, looking for something in specific, and then finding, tons and tons more. So she was very flexible. We got through that, and it was a lot of fun. It was a hell of a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun, and also very gross, because I do pretty sister and ugly sister recipes, and the ugly sister recipes, I would call her and go, "Can you believe this?" And she would go, "Let's put it in," and we would pick nasty stuff. There's things like bloater's paste, and which makes her go. And, I mean, something about tripe from where I'm from,
Yeah.
because, see, I mean, it's food people used to eat. And it may actually be, a delicacy somewhere else. But to me, like tripe.
Yeah.
But I have,
I remember that from a kid. It's like, "Ugh."
and it's like nasty stuff I couldn't touch if I tried. And things to do with, everything but the oink. And we laughed our way through it. I mean, it was hysterical. So we
Yeah,
have fun.
there's the title of the next cookbook, Everything But the Oink. You
Yeah.
could do it on pork.
Oh, that's going. That would be good. Because I don't think she wants to touch the recipe book for a while, but when we do, we'll think about it. Because you have no idea how many lists of books we want to do. I mean, the ones that she's doing right now started off, a number one. I thought it was going to be a one-off book. I've been collecting these stories, and I went, why don't you, blah, blah, blah. And she started going into it, and she found tons of them. Anytime I turn around, I find tons of stories all the time. So, and these are it started off as 60 stories, and now it's over 700, I think you said.
At least, yeah.
At least.
Wow. That's
And
crazy.
and a lot of them, I mean, the ones that I'd found, there were stories I'd never heard before. And some of them were, like The Lady in Black. I love those stories. They were very, very common in the Victorian era. And but the Screaming Boy or things like that, the thing of where people would bury, entomb children or entomb people in houses to keep the spirits, and especially in Europe, or horses, or the thing of where they would pay poor people to give up their child for, I want to say it's called immuration or immuration. I can't think. My brain is gone, but it was a specific type of sacrifice, and then those spirits sometimes haunted the houses, and things like that. So I found all sorts of stories, and then she found tons more. So, we work real well together on that. We pass things back and forth, and if I can't figure out what to do with it, I'll say, here, do something with this. And because right now I'm working on the psychic worm stitch, and that's bananas. I've got it all written. Now I got to figure out how to make it where someone can understand what I'm talking about, how it all works from this psychic's viewpoint. And but we pass things back and forth all the time. I mean, or she'll find something and we'll go, oh, let's do this, or oh, let's do that. Or if I hand her an art piece and I say, now, if you don't like something, you just tell me, and she will. And if I don't like something, I'll tell her, or if it's not, but we have very rare of that because I think we're pretty attuned to each other. The only thing we have had, which was very funny, when we do a cold case show, the very first showcase that we did, I told I told her and Shaw, this other individual, read your stories. Don't tell me anything, but read your stories. And then I don't know any information, but then I pick out the details of the stories they picked. And she was so scared for me during the first show. She was about to have a nervous breakdown. And it was pretty funny. So now she's getting to where she understands, I like to jump into the pot and swim. And since I do a lot of psychic stuff, but it used to really make her nervous when we would do
Yeah.
that. So she was scared for me.
I found out.
Mark. Oh, sorry, just one second, Cyn, because I've never known Cyn to be this quiet.
Oh yeah. Well, now you can
Okay,
talk.
Cyn.
Go ahead, Cyn. Well, you can't talk with this big mouth going.
Ooh.
No, we also learned on that first true crime podcast, that I did not read all of the clippings that I had sent to Shaw. So that's how his spirit guides can tell him kind of what is going on, and how he can relate to the cold cases. And I had skimmed it, but one of the newspaper articles I hadn't even read. It was just like, oh, that one goes with it. I'm going to send that to her too. So when he was naming all this stuff, he asked me, am I getting close? And I'm like, I don't think so. And Shaw was grinning, and she said, yeah, he's getting it. It was that clipping you just sent me. And I went, oh, I didn't read that one yet.
Yeah.
So there we go.
So I know both of you have mentioned things that we plan on talking about tonight. So I just want to go a little bit back. And if we can kind of start with Chilled to the Bone, how that came about. And then you've already kind of mentioned about one particular piece of art that Marc created for the book. But what's Chilled to the Bone all about, Cyn?
It's some of the spookier stories. So I'm going to bring it out around Halloween. It's some of the weirder things. I've had some people send me some spooky investigation stories in. I've got some spooky investigations. Marc's got some spooky investigations. We've got spooky investigations together. Things like that are going into that book. And it's like the last one I brought out like that was Realm of Shadows. Whispers in the Dark was my first. So what I wanted is the senses. So Whispers in the Dark, you could hear, right? Realm of Shadows, you could see. Chill to the Bone, you feel. So that's how they're all related. And they've got the same skeleton that's on there. And I love her.
So how many pieces of art or drawings do you have per book for Marc to get his teeth into?
The cover, and then he does 3 illustrations for each one, except for the last 2, this new series. And that I'm using newspaper clippings, things like that. He did the cover of the second part 2 was Black Bonnet. So I made sure to put that one in with Black Bonnet as well on a grayscale. So they know who that is. But for the most part, it's 3 per book that I've got.
And I believe you've got did you put the books up before we started recording or afterwards? I can't remember. So stick the books up.
So this is part 1, and these are editor copies, so that's why it's got the bar across it. There's the Headless Ghost and Colorful Spirits part 1. Part 2 is Black Bonnet on the cover for Headless Ghost and Colorful Spirits part 2.
So I'm just curious now. So the bar across it means what? Because I've never seen that. What does that mean to me?
It's an editor copy, so I can go back and make sure it's like I want it to be in print.
Right.
Or
it's not for sale. Yeah.
These aren't for sale.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Not for pre-sale.
See, you could have just said that in one sentence rather than like.
I wanted to elaborate.
Okay.
It's all word count. Remember, it's all word count.
Yeah, and apparently, what was it? 170 stories is too long or something. Is that what you told me recently?
I did not say that. I just said, wow, that's a lot of words.
Same thing. So, as we're talking about books and stories, Marc, let's talk about Psychic Wormstitch.
Well, actually, we just passed the anniversary, but in 1992, I was attacked in a random act of violence and murdered and came back, or excuse me, unalived. I don't know how they do it there, but in America, you're supposed to say unalived. So, unalived. I was unalived and came back. And after that experience, I'd been psychic before. I've been psychic my whole life, but it made my experience much deeper. And so the psychic worm stitch came about after, when I was going through the first death experience, that where I started to go and didn't go all the way. I saw all of these images and things like that. And when I got home later on, I started drawing down what I saw. And then I started going, what is that? I mean, some of it was very surrealistic and interesting and bizarre. But then when I started looking at it and going, oh, well, that's a neuron, that's this, that's that, and I started understanding the death process for me, from from what it meant to me and how I processed it. And so I'm also, besides a psychic, I'm a channeler. And so I channel information, which is, I mean, everyone has the mechanisms for it. What the worm stitch shows is how it all works. We all have a third eye, we have a pineal gland, and it has a lot of magnetite in it. And out of that magnetite, because of the blood flowing through, which the blood has iron in it, it kind of causes a charge. And that creates your aura. And everything kind of revolves around your third eye and your aura, which is your CAT scan. And so the worm stitch is going to be my concept of how it works, what is the spirit delivery system, how is it that the energy of the spirit and the soul get into the body, how does it get out of the body, when you die, and DNA reincarnation, because we have all of the DNA from thousands and thousands and thousands of people from over the centuries who put into our gene pools. Well, we have their eye color, their hair color, but we also have their DNA memory in the little curls of our brain. And so you have, if you don't believe in reincarnation, you have DNA reincarnation. I look just like a relative of mine. I have my cousin and I, we don't, we're first cousins, but we're both artists. We're both psychic. So somebody before us, put into the gene pool that, and we got a lot of those people's abilities. And sometimes you'll inherit music, singing, art, carpentry skills, so but you also have their memories up to the point they put into the gene pool. So the worm stitch is going to be about how I think it works, how it works for me, and techniques and things to access your Akashic library, which the really old information is stored in basically the base of your skull, in the cerebellum. And that's where all the old stuff is, and from everything, and how you can go inside and access your brain records 3 million hours in your lifetime, but it has millions and millions of hours of information recorded from other brains, that's in your DNA. So how you can access that, go in and research inside your own system. And then if you are psychic, how you can go from this to the consciousness around you and access information. So like when we do cold cases, I don't let anyone tell me anything beforehand, and I will pick out the information, and I will, details, mileage, whatever, blah, blah, blah. and murderer, you know, who did what and what did who. And I've proven I can do these kind of things. And the not 2 years ago, I actually a person was looking for a missing cemetery, and I found the missing cemetery, which then they found 250 graves. So I was able to draw the map, draw the place without ever knowing the place, didn't know the name of the place, didn't know where I was looking, drew the buildings, drew the map, and they showed me and with pictures, and Cyn knows, she's seen it, where the graves were found and things like that. And, so I mean, I have some things to start backing up what I do. So the worm stitch is going to be a thing for people if they're interested in doing their own, developing their own skills. They can. If not, they can just kind of maybe get an understanding of how some of it works. But it was the death process that got me into that. So that I've been working on the worm stitch for 34 years, and it should be out next year, maybe this year.
Let's do the fingers crossing.
I mean, I've got all the information now. I just got to make it where it makes sense to the average person, because it's very complicated, weird stuff, and making it where it's understandable, which I can do that. And so it's just going to take time.
With our conversations, he'll start talking about something from the psychic worm stitch, and it's very intense. And after about, I don't know, an hour and a half, I'm like, okay, Marc, I'm going to have to go and just let this sit for a while, because I can't think of anything else right now.
Yeah,
it's pretty heavy stuff.
It's weird.
Well, that just was, and I'm thinking like, okay, wow, yeah. So, and this, don't take this the wrong way, Marc, but
I'll take it any way I can.
Do you think that it will be a heavy book, or do you want it to be easy to understand for the layperson?
Easy to understand, because, and I'll do illustrations with it that will make it understandable. Because when you're talking about the spirit and the soul and exon terminals and things like that, then they go, what? But that's the core, and things like that. When I do illustrations, I think people will get it. I think it'll be really kind of one of the first of its kind, because there's plenty of stories of people in their near-death experiences. There's nobody going the process and the chemical things that are happening and the things you're going into and what's happening and how it's done. What you're seeing is you go, because when you're doing the death process and you start seeing the dead people and you start seeing the lights and you start seeing the things downloading. Well, it looks like they're downloading on glass. What they are is your brain recorded all this stuff, and it's downloading on plasma, because we have an electromagnetic plasma field, and we're made out of plasma. And so it's on plasma, and it's all downloading before you die to get out into the consciousness, get it out of the system. And so then everything that's all the stuff it's recorded, it all gets pulled to a certain place, and it becomes part of the consciousness. It adds to the library. So, which we call the Akashic Library. We're connecting to, we have our personal Akashic Library, but then there's a consciousness that you can connect to, that it's a bigger Akashic Library. So it becomes another cell of information in the consciousness. So I'm going to make it where people can understand it. It's just going to take time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because if you get a picture of the brain and then you get the nervous system, no skeleton, no muscles, nothing. You get the brain and then the nervous, like with all those little, that's the same kind of thing.
Yes.
But you can physically see the nervous system, where this is something unless you've got or using your abilities, it's not something that you can see, pick up and touch and handle kind of thing.
No, but everyone has the ability to see it, but we have to see it differently because your aura and your third eye process everything. Everything that's around you, everyone that's around you, it's a CAT scan. So, it's everyone has it. We just have been taught to be so far away from it that we don't know what's happening. But in the old days, they did, because they weren't scared of the human experiment, the human experience. And we've become afraid of death, and we've become afraid of life, and we've become afraid of illness, and we've become, death sometimes is not, death, after I went through death is not my enemy. Death is sometimes it can be an old friend, and
Sure.
it's an inevitable thing we all have to deal with. But the modern person goes, I can't handle dying. I can't think about dying. I can't. Well, tell that to the trillions of people who died. But that doesn't mean it's over. I don't think it's over in any way, form, or fashion. And I
Yeah,
think I have a way to prove it's
what it
not.
is. Yeah, I think what it is, it's like, yeah, the dying part you can cope with. It's like, what am I going to do with all my stuff?
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
my
Yes.
thing is, I don't want to suffer, because
Yeah.
I just went through a car wreck where someone ran me off the road, flipped me 3 times, and, I landed and thought, it was smoking, and I thought, oh, we're going to be like popcorn here in a minute. And I thought, I don't want to go through that. I don't mind dying. I just don't want to suffer. That's the thing I think a lot of people. But they think it's all over. But when you start to die, it's fantastic. It's the best. Well, in my experience, it was the best I've ever felt. It was wonderful, welcoming, extraordinary, and it wasn't anything to be afraid of. And it changes the way that you chemically deal with it, because when I'm faced with, death, I'm not afraid of dying. I just don't want to be burnt or, hurt in the process. I would rather, like a lot of people, just die and go in your sleep, but that's not normal for most people. So, so you just, however you get there, once you get to the point, it's great. So it's not, quit worrying about death, worry about life, get it done, get things going, get on with it.
Exactly. Cyn, what's your theories on that? You do a lot of research. So what's your opinion on what Mark's just said?
That death's doorstep has a lot of the near-death experiences, and most of them had where they saw a light. They felt love. Even if they didn't see loved ones, they felt this unconditional love, this amazing, and they didn't want to go back.
Mm-mm.
A lot of them remember being told, you can't stay. You've got to go back. And they didn't want to. There was 2 or 3 stories that actually saw the other side first and went to a dark place, and they weren't happy there. And when they were brought back by paddles or whatever, they decided to change their lives and be better people and help others, and just not be such bad people anymore.
Yeah, because one of your previous books was on near-death experiences. Which one was that again?
Death's Doorstep.
Oh, what you just said. Duh.
Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah. So you guys have joining forces in a couple of weeks' time, and you're going to terrorize I mean, you're going to go to a convention. You're not going to terrorize everybody at all.
Yeah, we are.
might.
Yeah.
We're going to
Okay, you are going to. I know a voice actor that when he goes to conventions, you know these googly eyes, he puts them on other people's posters over their eyes, and he goes around and does it. So we talked about GoblinCon, August 22nd to 23rd.
Yes.
What's going to be happening there then?
Well, I just found out I get to speak. So I'm going to be talking about headless ghosts and colorful spirits. And I'm so excited about that. So I'm their latest speaker. Marc is going to be doing readings. I can't wait for those to happen. And he's going to have some of his music,
which we'll get onto in a second. But
yes. But we're going to have such a good time.
So where is it?
Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
And it's a 2-day event. So any idea what else is going to be there apart from you two causing havoc?
Yes, Lee, I can tell you all about it. There's going to be over 70 vendors of all kinds of stuff, from, where you can go get your candles to get a new t-shirt and, whatever. Of course, books are going to be there, and speakers, and there's going to be puppet show, and they've got some, I can't remember exactly what they're calling it, but some actual, like a little mini museum that you can go into and see all these cool things. Of course, there's going to be a lot of cryptid people there. So some of the speakers are speaking on those cryptids, Bigfoot included, and others included. There's lots of ghost hunters there, some teams. Shaw Wooten, our buddy, will be there with her couple of teammates, and they're probably going to be doing a few lives. Eric Freeman Sims is the event coordinator. He's also the owner of the Night House. Marc and I are staying at the Night House.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah. So we're super excited. It's just, there's a lot. Food, vendors, music, all of us there. What more can you ask for? Just come out and see us. And it's like $10 to get in the door. What? $10?
So if you send me the $10, then you can also send me the plane ticket, and then you can also send me.
If you can't make it, you can actually pay. I think there might be a $10. You got to look at GoblinCon Kentucky.com. Go to GoblinConKY.com and look at all of the tickets and stuff available. There's going to be an online experience that you can listen to all the speakers and know what's going on from the comfort of your own home.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
See?
So Marc, you're going to be doing readings at GoblinCon. To have an event like that and to do readings, how does it kind of affect you as an individual, kind of during and afterwards? Does it make you tired, or especially doing a public event?
Well, what I've been doing in the last couple of years is, before I go to these things, I start my energy work a month before. So actually, because of all the things I've been going through in the last few months, I haven't stopped, channeling. So by the time I get there, to me, when I do things like that, it's very fulfilling. I get tired with all the physical stuff going on, but energy-wise, it's wonderful. It's great. It's fun. It's and two, a lot of the work I do, people come to me to talk to their departed ones, so it can be very sad a lot. But I have to say, out of all the work I've done, I've been able to comfort a lot of people. And so that makes me feel good, and I'm going to be sharing, art and music and my talent, and just, it's very exciting to do it. Now, things going on ghost hunting, I get worn out after it's over because I expend a lot of energy. Doing the cold cases, I will get tired, from after it's over. But until it's over, it's high energy. And then once I start turning that down, then that's when, you start to feel it. So I'll be doing good. I mean, it'll be good. When I come home, then I'll stay in bed a day or two and then recharge and get back to it.
So I'm assuming that you guys are not investigating when you stay at Eric's house then.
I mean, we might.
Yeah, just for the record, you guys are not getting any younger, so you do need to be in bed by a certain time of night.
By 3 or 4 in the morning, yes. Yeah.
Right. Which is normally our bedtime.
Yeah. And the
3 or 4 in the morning.
All the time anyway. They like me. So I've done a lot of investigating and talking to his spirits way before I ever went to his house. So, I mean, I like the spirits there. So we have a good time.
Yeah. So one thing that I also wanted to talk to you about, Marc, is you mentioned it a couple of times, but we'll go into a little bit more detail now. Your music.
Yes. Yes. Well, and Teasing can back this up. Because May 19th, when I was coming home from the Thomas house in Kentucky or Tennessee.
It's in Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
And I was coming home and a drunk ran me off the road. My car flipped 3 times, like Nadia Comaneci. And I landed. I mean, my car was totally totaled. And I got out. I lived. I got out of the car. I got out. But I told my cousin when she came to get me, I said, something good's going to come out of this. I just feel different. And what happened is because of it flipping me over, the thing with your third eye is it has a lot of magnetite. So if you get kicked in the head or hit in the head, that's what alters the iron shifts and your perception changes. And so I had flipped 3 times. And so I'm 64 and not in great shape. So that was, it was like a snow globe effect. But within, I would say 2 to 3 weeks, because I've always been I always have written lyrics and things like that. And for 45 years, I've collected lyrics and never been able to get them put to music. And I just started writing songs. So I started shooting them out and I found a way to get them put to music. And I did about 70 songs put together within 3 weeks. And I mean, it was a constant flow. And then I was sending the songs every night. And besides the old songs I had, I was writing new songs, which some of the really new ones are shocking to me. They're really, because since I'm a channeler, you channel it and you let it come. So within 3 days of starting to put the words to music, a friend of mine, her grandniece was dying, and she had the Make-A-Wish in America that does things for dying children. She wanted to go to Disney World while she was dying. She couldn't go. And she had wanted to be a Disney princess. So within finding out that she was dying and what was happening, I wrote a song for her within 10 minutes, sent it to them. They all cried. They played it for her. It was a song including her name, making her a little princess. And they loved it. And the next week they contacted me and wanted a good copy of it so they could play it at her funeral. And then I felt moved, channeling wise, to write another song. And I wrote Little Angel for her. And they played that at the funeral. And all the Make-A-Wish people and all that were, they were all devastated. And so it's not just writing lyrics and writing songs. I put a lot of soul, I put a lot of energy into it. And so it's been very interesting. Right now, on Monday next week at midnight, they'll be going through DistroKid, which will get everything on Spotify. And so then I have 10 songs that'll be online. And then I'm about to do 20 more, I think, in the next few days to put on there, because I have like 60, 70 songs that I feel like are viable. But I'm copywriting them first, putting them on after I copyright them. Blah, blah, blah. But it came out of the experience of the wreck. She knows you can ask her, let her tell you what this experience has been like.
Cyn, what has this experience been like?
When he calls me, it's like this, and we're all excited about everything, and I am exhausted when the phone calls are over. I'm exhausted because he's still channeling.
I'm still channeling.
Before the wreck, I guess was it last year or a year and a half ago where you fell and hit your head?
That was going on 2.5 years ago.
2.5 years. And then his abilities just snowballed. So after the wreck, it really snowballed. So every time he gets hurt, his experience opens up.
The universe does it to me they go, here, this is what you need to make this happen.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yes.
Push you downstairs or something.
Yes. Go ahead, Jen. Go ahead, Jen.
Yeah. Guys, unfortunately, we are coming to the end. So apart from the stuff that you've already mentioned, Chill to the Bone, Psychic Wormstitch, your songs, and GoblinCon, as if your lives are not busy enough, what else have you got going on for the rest of the year?
For the rest of the year, I'm going to help Eric at I think it's the Fairview Nature Fest in October, and there's going to be a haunted hayride, I believe, and a little ghost investigation, so that's going to be fun. And then I believe I'm at Rosemont, which is a haunted location in Gallatin, Tennessee. Eric's going to be a speaker, and I know he's asked me to come sell my books. I don't know if I'm speaking or just selling, but I'll be talking no matter what. So if you come, I'll talk to you.
Oh, thanks. Sort of like, oh, there's Cyn. Yeah, I'll go to her table last because
Yes.
I'm never gonna get away.
No, ever.
Marc, what about you?
Well, I'm still writing songs right now, as we've been working on that today. So I'm going to keep writing songs as they come along. I got to do my Fat Psychic cooking show, but it's not happened yet, so I don't think it's right time, but it's getting there. It's getting close. I think the universe wanted me to do the music first, get that going, then this will just kind of happen. It's one day I'll just be doing it, which I'll be cooking out of my mean old grandma's good old cookbook and doing comedy. I've written songs for the show that are just a scream, and I'm planning on having fun, because it's been a terrible 2 years, really. There's been a lot of stuff going on, and I'm just going to have fun and enjoy it. And at the end of it, if I'm still alive, I'm alive. If I'm not, at least I've had a good time. Though the thing about the wreck, if the wreck had killed me, which it very well could have, I wouldn't have had the songs out. Now I've gotten all of this stuff out. So I kind of feel like at 64 I'm starting to get somewhere. So this year it's going to be about fun, creativity, music, art, entertainment, and just finishing things. I want to finish a lot of things and get all that done. So that's what we're going to do.
Sounds like a plan. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. And just before we go, Cyn, who's number one again?
You are my favorite British Canadian.
I'm number one. And Tommy's your second what again?
Tommy is my second favorite ginger after Jamie Fraser from Outlander.
Okay, so I'm still number one. Okay, that's it. No, stop talking. Stop talking.
Brit. He's my favorite Brit. You're my favorite British Canadian.
Yeah, but I was born first. So I was a Brit before he was.
Yes, you were. Yes,
guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for your time. Have fun at GoblinCon. I don't think I can make it because I think I'm washing my hair or
the all access pass is only $10 for streaming.
For streaming. Okay, I shall remember that. Oh, streaming.
Well,
guys,
if the music goes well and I get some cash going, we'll come and see you. We'll make a trip.
I will make sure
that made him nervous.
I'll make sure that the borders are closed. Guys, thanks a lot. You have a great rest of the evening. Thanks a lot. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for watching Paranormal Prism with me.
Thank for watching Paranormal Prism with me.
Whoa, what was that?
Hold on. Is that? Are you the spirit from the prism?
We are always.
This is exactly what we investigated. Oh, incredible.